You know that feeling on Christmas Eve, right? Watching Santa's sleigh zip across that digital map. But have you ever stopped to think, wait, who's actually running this thing? Well, the answer might surprise you. It turns out this whole beloved tradition actually started inside a top-secret military command. Yeah, you heard that right. And today, we're going to unwrap that wild story.
I mean, it sounds like the start of a joke, doesn't it? The same folks whose job it is to defend North America from airborne threats are also the official trackers of Santa Claus. How in the world did that happen? Well, that's exactly the question we're digging into today. And get this isn't some newfangled thing they just started. As of December 2025, the military will have been at this for an incredible 70 years. 70! That's 7 decades of one of the world's most advanced defense networks basically moonlighting in the business of holiday magic.
So how did it all begin? You might think it was some brilliant PR campaign or a planned government project, right? Nope. It was way simpler and honestly way more human than that. It all started with a mistake, an accidental phone call.
Okay, picture this. It's 1955. A Sears ad in Colorado Springs prints a phone number for kids to call Santa. Super sweet, right? Except there was a typo, a pretty major one. So when a child dialed that number, they didn't get an elf on the line. They got a top-secret military hotline. And here's the kicker. By that December, that very same command center was issuing official Santa updates to the press. Talk about a whirlwind.
You have to just imagine the scene. The red phone, the one reserved for, warnings of a Soviet attack, it starts ringing on the desk of Colonel Harry Shoup at the Continental Air Defense Command. He probably grabs it, heart pounding, expecting the absolute worst, and then he hears a tiny little voice on the other end ask, "Is this Santa Claus?" Now, Colonel Shoup was known for being a pretty serious, no-nonsense commander. So his first reaction was probably, annoyance. But then, instead of hanging up, something just clicked. He saw this innocent mistake for what it was, a golden opportunity right in the middle of the Cold War. To really get why this was so brilliant, you have to put yourself back in the 1950s. After World War II, a lot of Americans just wanted to forget about global threats. But military leaders, they were on high alert, deeply worried about a potential surprise Soviet bomber attack coming right over the North Pole. It was this huge, serious threat that just wasn't on the public's radar at all.
And that's when Colonel Shoup had his light bulb moment. His whole job was to watch the skies over the North Pole for threats. What better way to show the public that you're doing that than by tracking another very famous person who also happens to come from the North Pole? It was pure PR genius.
So, okay, that's a clever one-time move. But how did it go from that to being this international holiday tradition we all know? Let's take a look at how this happy accident just completely snowballed.
Well, for starters, the press went absolutely nuts for the story. The next year, reporters started calling again, asking for updates. Then, in 1958, after the U.S. and Canada had formed the Joint Command NORAD, the Santa tracking mission became an official part of the holiday season. It turned into this really heartwarming symbol of the two nations' friendship.
And the story just kept getting better and better. They started having fun with it. In 1960, NORAD put out a report about an emergency landing in Hudson Bay. They said they sent Canadian fighter jets to check it out, and the pilots reported back that they found Santa on the ice, tending to a reindeer's injured hoof. They even escorted his sleigh for part of the journey. The legend was growing. Okay, so let's fast forward to today. The mission is now a seriously high-tech operation. It's a long, long way from that single red phone on Colonel Shoup's desk, let me tell you.
So, how do they say they track him now? It's a whole 4-step process. First, their powerful radar system detects the sleigh's launch. Then, and this is my favorite part, satellites thousands of miles up in space use infrared sensors to track the heat from, you guessed it, Rudolph's bright red nose. They've also got high-speed Santa cams around the globe to capture video, and sometimes fighter pilots will even fly alongside to tip their wings and say hello.
And who makes all of this happen? It's an army of volunteers. You've got military personnel, Department of Defense civilians, and their families all donating their Christmas Eve to keep the magic alive. And here's what's really important. This whole operation is supported by corporate sponsors. It's all done without using a single taxpayer dollar.
The scale of this one-night operation is just incredible. We're talking about a huge team, over 1,000 volunteers, fielding a flood of more than 100,000 calls from kids all over the globe. And they do it in 9 different languages. It's just a massive logistical feat, all for the sake of holiday cheer.
And this really gets to the heart of the story, this fascinating duality. For 364 days a year, NORAD's mission is deadly serious. Aerospace warnings, maritime defense, protecting an entire continent. But for one night, all of that changes. The mission becomes about tracking a sleigh and creating a magical world.
And that's the real magic here, isn't it? For one night, the cold, hard world of radar systems and fighter jets gets completely repurposed. All of that incredible technology is used for one simple goal: to create a sense of wonder for children all over the world.
So we'll leave you with this thought to chew on. What does it really say about us that one of the most serious defense systems on the entire planet takes one night a year to create a little bit of magic for kids? It's a question that speaks to the enduring power of a good story and a little bit of holiday wonder.